LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up students and youth culture. Lawsuit accuses Texas Tech of censoring LGBTQ+ and Black history lessons. A coalition of educators and advocacy groups has filed a federal lawsuit against the Texas Tech university system, alleging that it violated professors' free speech and due process rights by censoring classroom instruction on LGBTQ+ people, gender identity, sexual orientation, and anti-Black racism. The lawsuit challenges directives that require faculty to submit course materials for review and remove content deemed to violate the university's policies or face discipline or termination. According to the complaint, the restrictions have prevented professors from teaching topics ranging from homosexuality in Plato's Symposium to the Supreme Court's 1857 Dred Scott decision. Wow, that is some crazy stuff. Dred Scott, separate but equal, like these are foundational things that students should be learning. Plato's Symposium. I understand, if you're a public school and you live in a place like Florida and, this is Texas, so we're basically kissing cousins. You live in a place like that where in a public school, you need to have oversight from your principal or from some kind of curriculum specialist. But to be a college professor and not be able to make decisions that are in alignment with the curriculum that you've been tasked to teach, I think we should leave it to the experts. I think we should, as they said during COVID, we should trust the science. And I think, as we say during this era of repressive government, we should trust the experts. And the professors are the experts. What say you, Glenn?
What says I'd want to know how long this has been going on. Is this a recent development? And does it have to do with funding and the school having bent its ways in order to stay afloat? And therefore was pressured into putting some of these things into place, because it wasn't a story last year. It seems like it's a newer story where suddenly they're speaking out. I think if it had been earlier, they would have spoken out earlier. I think this is unfortunately back to politics, and I hate that we constantly go back in a circle, back to that. But in this case, I think the only reason the school would take such a stance is because they're being pressured by an outside source.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully we'll see some things that have been developing in Florida with college professors having the latitude to speak more freely after a Supreme Court ruling. Doesn't mean that funding isn't going to be impacted by our current administration. So we'll see if that turns into a wrestling match of some kind. But, you feel for people. I mean, one of the, and I think, certainly I know, Brian, you're a big history buff.
Don't remind me. Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, history buff. Yeah, that's
having enjoyed history throughout my life, I often think
you lived through a lot of it.
Thank you, dear. Your day will come, honey.
That's right.
And so now you got me off track.
I got you, man.
Okay, wait, I got you back.
Thank you.
Between the two of us.
Between the two of us.
He won't survive.
Yes, that's right.
A combined living ages together.
But you hope that, some of the best history teachers I've had, your social studies, if I don't want to really go back before they called it history classes or whatever, where, that there were life lessons to not repeat, in a negative sense, that we would evolve as a society.
Oh, we haven't.
But we have to keep on encouraging that. So
I went to a history, I'm going to close this out, but I do want to say this. I went to a history convention and they said, what year do we live in? And everybody said 2026. I had to think for a second. I didn't remember, but I knew that it was 2026. And really, we are living in the year 1600. Things have not, technology has changed, but our mindsets have not changed. We have feudalism, techno-feudalism is back. We have caste systems. We have people might not be called enslaved, but we are definitely living in an outgrowth of the medieval era.
And when Larry and I were younger in school in the 1800s, we were never taught anything about Native Americans. I mean, we came here and we saved everybody. There was no talk about slaughtering entire generations of people and then exiling them to the swamp in South Florida when, we came here and shot them with guns when all they had was bayonets.
Do you know how
school is always limited what we learn based on what they want us to believe.
Absolutely.
Do you know how Christopher Columbus was able to get the native Taino people in the Caribbean islands to search for gold and other minerals? what he did was he would take non-combatants or the ones that were not working fast enough, and he would chop their hands off. And that would serve as a warning to everybody else. This is what we'll do to you. You better
I've
work
done that
faster.
in some corporate meetings where I've decided someone needs to go down.
Okay.
Set an example. Someone else does what you
Okay.
want.
All right. Well, we're going to have to decolonize that one. That is an LGBTQ 1-minute news story. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.